Okay, thank you for this nice presentation. I think we have been asked the same questions, more or less. But you were from Denmark and I'm from Germany. So I'm Nardine Stybel from the EUCC, the Coastal Union Germany. And we are also an NGO with a big network in the coastal area. So it's, I think we could name us as Coastal Network. So, but we are from the EUCC International, so a German branch from the Coastal and Marine Union, located in the Netherlands. So I will talk a bit about how we are involved in projects and how we deal with coastal zone management, and also how to bring research into practice-oriented networks. And I will also give some examples for lessons learned from other projects. And my presentation is not really on beach wrack, but you will see here and there some aspects of that. So EUCC Germany is dealing with coastal communities in general, so and with all the coastal challenges there are linked to. So as you all know, climate change is a big issue, coastal protection, ecological condition, and the decrease in coastal fisheries. We have the problem of spatial planning, so conflicts regarding the limited space and regulatory complexity. And our main field in many coastal regions is the tourism sector. So we have seasonal pressures on infrastructures, for example, connected to the climate change, warming waters with increase of algae blooms, changes of beach and bathing water quality. Therefore, we have also the link to beach wrack, for example, and there is need for adaptation, and that is quite expensive also for the coastal communities. And on top, we have the problem that there is the problem we know from all the other sectors, and not only connected to the coastal area, but we have the problem of skilled labor shortage, funding gaps, and administrative burdens. And this all together is something that a normal coastal community have to deal with every day. And we try also to understand all these limitations and problems, and to work together, because cooperation matters. So the cooperation with municipalities, disciplines, and countries is crucial for sustainability, and many sustainability challenges are shared and require joint approaches. And that is where EUCC comes into. We try to address all these challenges and work with municipalities in a solution-oriented manner. So here is one of the aspects of beach wrack I can show you. So this is a view to our beach wrack fence. So it's a sand trap fence in Warnemünde, not far away from here. And we built that every year together with a tourism organization to find nature-based solutions for coastal protection, and also to increase the awareness also of the community that there are solutions. So EUCC, as I said, is a non-profit organization, and we were founded in 2002 and belong to the Coastal and Marine Union. And it's this Coastal and Marine Union is located in the Netherlands. We have different EUCC offices in Europe, and are the largest European network when it comes to coastal zone management. We are often a neutral cooperation partner in Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania, often a partner in EU and national project funding, and our overall aim is to promote sustainable development. Our team is quite interdisciplinary, so we are mainly natural scientists, but also with background in science, journalism, and education, volunteers, not only from Germany, so they come from all over the world, executive board and also expert advisors. They help us when it comes to research projects and the current status of research. When we are active in EU or other national programs and funding projects, then we start with stakeholder mapping. So this is the first step. So we are the responsible partner for stakeholder mapping, stakeholder analysis, and to find out which partners, which stakeholders need to be included from the beginning, from the first day in projects. With the aim to make our research quite feasible and also understandable and used at the end. And then, of course, as you all know it's quite normal. We work with pilot studies and best practices, but we always try to find ways how to bring these knowledge from the pilot studies also to other areas. So the knowledge gathering and data gathering is quite important. So we build different platforms in those projects to increase the capacity also of the stakeholders and to make them aware that there is possibilities to change their decision making. And sometimes, and this is quite normal, I think, in the last years, that tools like a decision-making tool is also implemented in such projects. So we work together with public authorities, local businesses, scientists or research organizations, also nature conservation organizations, always with the aim to find solutions to include social, economic and environmental aspects and to bring that in a balance. It's funny. So crazy. So our overall topic is integrated coastal zone management, but we have also some bigger strategic topics like biodiversity, blue economy, climate change and environmental pollution, but always with the focus on the coastal area. And it is based on stakeholder engagement, public outreach, and education for sustainable development. And for sure, we have also some working topics, not that broad, so much more clearer. So this is building with nature, for example, the beach shrub fences, marine litter, water management, sea gardens. We work in coastal tourism, renewable energy, wetland restoration, light pollution, ocean literacy. So that is topics we are dealing with our coastal communities and in different projects. We have a lot of different channels. So science and research publications. We do also normal research publications together with other research institutions, but we also find other ways to distribute research results into more understandable ways. So we have different channels here, online, but also printed. Quite often we produce material for public authorities. So they're asked for example, some flyers regarding beach wrack, for example, or jellyfish or blue algae that they can use in their coastal communities, especially in the summer season, for example, for tourists. And then we have also magazines that are just for coastal residents and tourists. So this is the Meer and Küste magazine. It's a glossy magazine where we always invite scientists to write more easily understandable results of their work for our coastal community. And we have also an English magazine. It's a bit more oriented to experts. Then we have a newsletter with many addresses, and we always try to install also information platforms. As you can see it here, it's Marine Litter platform for Germany. We have another one it's about seagrass meadows. Okay, and all these communication channels are necessary for us because we know that there is a kind of science practice gap. So the practice-oriented networks like we, but also coastal communities or other practitioners don't just need research results. They need results that are usable. So that means bringing, being involved early, shaping questions that matter locally, or receive outputs and formats that stakeholders can actually work with. And of course, it's necessary that it's continuously, so that means that tools and platforms that are developed in projects shouldn't appear at the moment the project ends. So, and therefore we try to bridge this gap and bring, with our knowledge in projects, the local relevance into the field. We also try to develop feasible recommendations by the end of projects with clear implications for practice, and also make sure that the awareness of governance constraints is covered. So EUCC, as you can see here, is a kind of boundary organization in such projects. So it's not only one way from the science to the beneficiaries, means the coastal communities, it's also the vice versa. So we bring also questions from the practical part to the science, so what is really necessary to know, and also bring the knowledge from the science to the coastal communities. One example is our project Beach SOS that was finished by last year, and it was also an Interreg project funded by the Baltic Sea Region Program. And climate change increasingly affects coastal areas, but it's fully integrated into beach and tourism management due to complex data, short-term planning, and uncertain local projections and low awareness. And this project addressed this gap by raising local awareness and providing accessible climate information at municipal level, linking climate resilient beach management with the Blue Flag initiative together. So the Blue Flag was part in the project, and we, EUCC, worked here as a boundary organization, bridging the gap between climate science and local practitioners. We did a lot of workshops, interviews, also bilateral talks. We developed fact sheets, and we worked as a kind of multiplicator, transferring pilot site results to other beaches and communities, because here we also work with pilot sites in different countries. So lessons learned from projects when it comes to science and practice cooperation. So there are pluses, a lot of pluses, that projects provide value. They raise awareness and initiate first step. There are strong approaches to data collection and publications. They create often networks with local practitioners. That helps to ensure the relevance and the uptake, and often they include relevant stakeholders from the very beginning. But there are also minuses, so that means after projects end, initiatives often fizzle out, results rarely applied in practice, the focus is often just on data and publications and not on long-term impacts. There are sometimes NGOs included, and they depend on scientific information, but without often proactive sharing. So the NGOs have then to ask for, and that's maybe not the right way. Data are sometimes not always tangible. Stakeholders may feel disengaged at the end. So the approach must be to think beyond the project phase. When you start a project, act on and actively disseminate results and maintain networks that has been created. Another aspect is also to have ongoing collaboration between science and NGOs, and maybe not in that project or the following one. Okay, now EUCC has itself is a network, but we have, of course, other networks that we have created by ourselves or in other projects or we are part of. So here are some. We have some nature-based solution networks. That is the mentioned seagrass network. So it was built in the Sea Store project. We have mentioned already the Contra project. So that was the beginning of beach wrack in the Baltic Sea region. And at the end of that project, the beach wrack network was created. It started with an email list and exchange, and now it's more on LinkedIn. There is another one, the European Dune Network, that is a big EUCC-related project. We are also part in Cool Blue Future, where we are responsible for the German marine gardens and coastal wetlands. Then there is, I mentioned already the Beach SOS project when it comes to climate adaptation and resilience for beaches. And Beach SOS, as I said, it's finished, but now all these results go into the platform weekend because there are possibilities on the Baltic Sea region area to create platform projects where project outcomes of different project aspects can be integrated in one platform to have more possibilities to spread the results and to connect to other countries. And that is done near platform again that started last year. So also marine litter is one topic we deal with, I don't know, more than 10, 15 years now. So we are part of the Green Table on marine litter on a federal level in Germany. We have local networks for marine litter just here in Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania. We are part of the OSPAR monitoring for marine litter. And then there is also several networks we are part of in ocean literacy, so EU for Ocean, for example, and a quite new one is a network of extracurricular education locations. And here are some examples how we bring science into practice. So one is marine litter, so litter is missing on top. We work together here with the Institute for Baltic Sea Research in Warnemünde, and they had a lot of PhDs dealing with marine litter on the sandy beaches. And the most important result was that cigarette butts are the main litter issue. That is for our coastal areas here in Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania, and it's also the case in Warnemünde Beach. And but then it stopped. So they had nice papers on it, and the question was, okay, now we know the cigarette butts are the main problem. What can we do now? So we started to think about, okay, what can be done, and who could be responsible for it, and we searched for possibilities, and we found the ballot bin, so the yellow post box here, and it's used mainly in the UK when you are on a metro station and you see it, so they put their bins, their butts there. And we found that quite interesting and asked our tourism organization if that is possible on our beaches. So it was a long way to go. But at the end, they decided, okay, that's good because it's also marketing. So and also a positive destination image they can create with these boxes. So, and this was more or less than the win-win situation because they ordered the ballot bins from the UK, and we are responsible for the monitoring, for cleaning, And this is a cooperation now for more than 10 years, because the first ballot bins in Germany were on the beach in Warnemünde, they are still there. We have some more now. And but this is a kind of success story in that case when it comes to research results and implementation.
So you empty them?
Huh?
You empty them?
We empty them,
yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So another topic is seagrass restoration. This is quite high topic in Germany. I'm not sure. I think it's the same in other countries. Because we have this EU regulation to restore habitats and to restore marine habitats. In our case, one focus is on seagrass restoration measures to restore them. And we try, and this is the second phase of Sea Store. It's a project on Sea Store or seagrass restoration. And here we work together really with practitioners from the beginning on, because we have so many emails from diving organizations. They are willing to put seagrass in the floor, and they want to know when can I start? So it's really crazy. So and now we try to bring that together. We created a seagrass network. It's an online network, just every 3 months. So we meet there, we open it for everyone, and we transfer knowledge from the research sector, because in the Sea Store it's more on methodologies and monitoring aspects. But we think that it's quite important to open it also for the public and for practitioners, because at the end we want to develop a decision support tool that makes it possible for authorities, for coastal communities to decide where can I restore marine habitats and then place seagrass meadows. And then, as I said, we have different communication channels, and here it's this magazine, Meer und Küste, where we always try to invite scientists to bring their recent knowledge into the public field. Mm-hmm. So, with the end, I just raised some questions here. What do end users really need? So for us, it's the practical advice, not just theory, local and relevant information, timely data, clear prioritization. Okay, what's there? Easy to use tools and indicators, plain language and visuals, collaborative research and trusted evidence. And I think the most important thing is that data and research results have to be available. Even after the project. So how to bring that, how to ensure that, I think that's a really important question. Mm-hmm. And to make sustainability possible, I think, is to think about long-term impact, to continue activities beyond project end, to share the knowledge, spread your results in networks, incorporate the latest research, try to find ways to bring it in a more understandable way. Infographic that was mentioned already, I think that's a good way. Also fact sheets and policy briefs, that is quite important. And to keep partners and decision makers involved. Show your lessons learned and document also how your results are used and track them. Mm-hmm. And this is just a possibility how ECONUT could be used in our network, or how we could feed our channels with the results of the project, because I think there are quite good results at the end, and people are still waiting for all these results. So I think besides your research papers, so maybe there are some recommendations. I have seen a white book at the end, so ECONUT on that probably. So we can help with spreading your results in our channels. So we have newsletter, we have the magazine. This summer we have a magazine on underwater habitats and seagrass. So maybe it's an opportunity to put some aspects of ECONUT there. And we also do more and more serious games like action bounce, or something that you can use with your smartphone. You're, I don't know, walking at the coastline and you just take messages from action bounce and learn what each one is about or connected problems. Right. Yeah, and then Daniela asked me to bring some open questions from the practitioners. So there are many coastal communities with the problem of beach wreck still, and they want solutions. So we are really hope for every beach wreck project to bring some solutions. So the most important thing is when, where, and in what quantities does beach wreck accumulate along the Baltic shoreline, and how can a forecasting decision support to look like? How is the amount of beach wreck affected by or related to climate change? How can sand be separated from beach wreck? So this is our German problem because it's not allowed to take the algae or seagrass from the surface. Which businesses really can be implemented profitably, and what opportunities for cooperation across the Baltic Sea region exist to facilitate the regulation? I think that's really one big issue still. Yeah, so I hope I could give a understandable overview about EUCC and what we are doing. Thank you for your attention, and I hope to stay in contact.
Thank you very much for this presentation. There are questions. Are there answers? Are there further questions from our side? Yeah.
I have a question, or maybe more than one question. Thanks for your nice presentation. So when you talk about coastal communities, who are they? Are they the people living in the place, or is that, you know, the municipalities? That's one of them. One first question. Second question is, by experience now working in another Interact project, when we approach stakeholders on the German side, it's very difficult to make them engaged. Is there any good way of getting them on board? Because there are so many levels, they need so many approvals, and we are actually starting from the beginning. You say involve stakeholders from the beginning, and we are doing, but we are not moving anywhere because it's kind of tricky. So I don't know, it's just some advice.
Yeah.
So that's the two questions.
Okay, so coastal communities is meant municipalities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and as I said, also I presented those challenges they have in mind and all the obstacles they have. So the daily work of them is quite busy. So it's really tricky to reach them and engage them. I know that. So we profit at the moment from our personal contacts and the long cooperation we have. So we work with them, I don't know, more than 20 years now. They know us, and when we come with questions and say, okay, this is the next topic we have to speak about, then they are maybe much more aware when we ask than a totally different actor is coming in the field.
Nardine, I know you have the contacts to all these municipalities. You have regular meetings, which many of them are attending. Would it be possible that Cynthia is maybe presenting a short overview about her and participate in one of them?
Yeah. Or we could be happy to collaborate with you, and then you can. Yeah, I will reach out.
Maybe one way.
In exchange, you will get a nice overview for your journal from her. She's working as greenhouse gases from beach wreck, so it's likely of interest for the journal.
Yes.
Further questions? Or answers to her questions? Liz, can you go back to the list?
I mean, I think some of that we are actually talking about in the project. I mean, what quantities does each wreck accumulate along the Baltic shoreline? We do have this curious analysis. So that is actually some data that will get out at one point, I do hope so. I'm not sure if we have a forecasting tool yet.
No.
But yeah. I mean, climate change is a bit hard because you are measuring greenhouse gases, but it's
Not the
direction. Yeah.
So we can for sure hand over soon data about our measurements. But you know from Contra there were these contrasting results by the measurements we did in Contra and the models which were developed in Estonia, which were completely contrasting to some extent, and therefore forecasting, I guess, is something on the wrong way. Or as we have learned today, Renata finds some beach rock which probably comes from Denmark in Lithuania. So forecast this might be a long way to go. But if you are interested in this, so Contra, you have the data, and what we did here will be a prolongation or whatever of this time series.
I do have a question. So, a lot of your work is also raising awareness of people about problems, I would say, for that. Is it like if you talk to new stakeholders or new practitioners that they are already aware of those problems and just don't know like how the situation is or how to deal with it, or is it like that you present them something new and they are like, oh no, I've never heard of that?
Yeah, it's both.
Okay.
So sure, we want to raise awareness where you're not aware of. So for example, this Ostsee Asher, it's just a yellow box on the beach, right? But people go there and see, okay, what's that? And then they walk around and say, okay, that might be a problem, and then you can read on the screen, and then okay, I'm not a smoker. Sometimes they say, okay, I'm not a smoker, but now I know that this is a problem here.
And you said the time scale was quite large between like seeing the problem and then those ushers. How many years was there in between?
I think 2.
Okay, yeah, this is like
2 to 3 years. Yeah.
Okay, wow.
It's really short.
It was
Probably more than
Yeah.
You were installing something at a public space. At
Yeah,
space, so you immediately know.
Yeah.
The scariest kids.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, more questions? No? So thank you very much once again, Nardine, for this presentation. And now we are at the end of it. General questions, general comments. Well, if this is not the case, so we are perfect in time, which is good. So thank you very much to all of you and to the core group as well as to the today's meeting group for attending this meeting. For the core group, I guess we are a step further. Something we still have to digest from the presentations today, but we have the contacts of all of you. So thank you very much again for the 3 presentations you gave today.